Welcome to the Every Temple podcast. My name is Tony, and this is my co-host Janelle.
Hello.
And together we want to talk about every temple of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. And today we are blessed to have a special guest with us. Janelle's daughter Marina has come to learn with us about the Sao Paulo temple. Thank you for coming.
Oh, you're so welcome.
Oh, you're the best. Elder Stevenson said, "You are never lost when you can see the temple. The temple will provide direction for you and your family in a world filled with chaos. It is an eternal guidepost which will help you from getting lost in the mist of darkness." So, thanks for coming, guys.
I think Marina might be one of our biggest fans.
It's true. It's true. She does comment on all our Instagrams, so that's nice.
Yeah.
Marina, why do you love the temple?
Well, just like that quote was talking about, I think that one of my favorite things about the temple is that when I go, it feels like every worry and every darkness that I feel around me just disappears. And I can go back into the decisions that I make with a clear mind. And I'm also serving my ancestors, so that's a big plus.
Yeah, service is big. Helps us feel better and gives you strength.
Yeah.
Because they're holding you up.
Yep. Yeah, I agree.
Awesome. Well, thanks for coming.
Mm-hmm.
Do you have anything else going on?
Oh, just little things.
Or big things.
Or huge things.
Marina just got engaged.
Yeah. So Janelle and Marina have been planning a wedding all week.
Yep.
It's been busy.
Yeah. Busy week. Busy bees. Well, good luck. Keep us in the loop. Temple news. The temple in Kenya. Nairobi, Kenya temple has started an open house April 17th through May 3rd. It'll be dedicated May 18th. Did you guys look at pictures?
I didn't.
There's only a few pictures, but what I liked was the stained glass windows. They were very bright colors, like bright blue and green.
I'm going to look. I'm so excited. Every temple in Africa. It's just so exciting.
Yes. There's actually another open house in Abidjan, Ivory Coast at May 1st through 17th. I think May is going to be a really busy month of open houses. So
Ivory Coast is Africa too, right?
Yep. West Africa is big.
Yep.
Like Olivia told us. So that's pretty cool. I wanted to tell you guys a story though.
Mm-hmm.
I got to go clean the temple this week. Volunteered to go clean the temple on a Monday afternoon. So I wasn't at midnight. Monday afternoon I went and they gathered all the volunteers together and we had a prayer. And then the first question they said was, "We're just wondering if anyone would volunteer to clean the font." You guys know how I am.
Oh.
You know how I am about the font. And so I didn't even ask questions. I just raised my hand and I was like, okay. And then some people pointed out that it would be full of water. Well, somebody asked, do they drain it to clean it? And they're like, nope, not anymore because of drought, water saving.
Yeah.
Because they'd have to do it every day. But it does filter every 20 minutes. There's clean water. So they picked me and two other brothers that volunteered to help in the baptistry. And we went down with our facilitator and she was like, okay, I'm going to show you what to do and then you'll go change. And I was like, okay. So I got a jumpsuit and I got everything and I changed and I was in the font and I was scrubbing all the water spots, scrubbing the glass.
Awesome. Okay.
And I was just like, this is so cool. This is so cool.
That's awesome.
And honestly, I would, if anyone else there is listening, if you're cleaning the temple, volunteer to clean the font because it's better than vacuuming.
You could be in the water.
That's what I did.
You could do something different.
I vacuumed last time.
Yeah. And this is only the second time I've ever cleaned the temple, and I vacuumed last time. I vacuumed a locker room, which was not exciting. And so I was like, well, at least this isn't vacuuming. At least I'm doing something different. And then, so that only took half an hour. Okay. And then I got out and I changed again. Mm-hmm. And then she had me do a bunch of other interesting things, which were not vacuuming. The brothers had to do all the vacuuming. I was like, I don't want to do it.
Not vacuuming.
But I did the mirrors in the bathrooms and stuff. And then she was like, okay, when those guys are done with that, we'll go down and go around the oxen. Yeah. So I got to go in the secret door, down into the oxen. I was Swiffering the floor and they were dusting the oxen.
Oh my gosh.
It was so cool.
Okay. I am volunteering for the
awesome.
Yeah, baptistry.
Next time.
Yeah. It was awesome.
Was the water warm?
So warm.
Okay. We got this.
It was great.
Convinced you.
Yeah, it did.
And I'm not a person that likes to get wet. My friends invite me to water aerobics and I'm like, no, thank you. I don't like to get wet. But I volunteered for this before I knew I would be getting wet. And it all worked out.
Yeah. That's awesome. That's really fun.
It was way cool. Okay. That's all. Aside from that, let's jump into today's temple.
Perfect.
Okay. The church in Brazil started in 1913 with some German saints that came to live there. And they were coming at quite a good rate. By the 1920s, a woman wrote to church headquarters and was like, "Can you send some missionaries? Because my husband doesn't really want me to do this." Oh. She wanted her husband converted mostly. Uh-huh. So they sent some missionaries, and they were doing pretty good. They had pretty good success in the 20s with the German people that lived there. And then once the World War II started, there was a lot of anti-German sentiment. You couldn't speak German in Brazil.
Okay.
So they had to kind of transition into Portuguese. So the German saints had to learn Portuguese, and the Portuguese and the missionaries as well. They didn't really have a Book of Mormon translated into Portuguese yet. So it was kind of a slow transition, a little rough, but they got it figured out. And President Faust was one of the missionaries about this time.
Really?
Yeah.
In Brazil?
In Brazil.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So
because his name came up a few times.
Yeah, because he helped with the dedication and building and stuff.
Mm-hmm. So it's interesting. It's just interesting how the church decided to send missionaries.
Right.
So I wonder, when did they first start going to South America? Was this the first time?
No, I think there was a mission in a South American mission, but I think it was Buenos Aires. Okay. I think they were down there, and they heard they wanted missionaries up in Sao Paulo, so they sent them up that way. Okay. I don't know.
Yeah. This made me think about, we talk about the pioneers, from Nauvoo to Salt Lake.
Right.
But there's pioneers in every single country.
Yeah, exactly.
And so this made me think about how in a different way, how the church has spread to all the countries and what their pioneer stories are for their countries.
I think about that a lot when I go to Temple Square and I talk to the sister missionaries from all over the world, and they're teaching me about pioneer ancestors. And I'm like, I know all of that. Tell me about your pioneer. Yeah. Tell me about the pioneers in your country.
Yeah.
Because I'm covered. I got it. When the temple was built, actually, I don't know how many members were in Brazil because every website I looked at had a different number. But there were a lot of members. I want to tell you some things about Sao Paulo today, so we get some references. These can be fun facts about Sao Paulo.
Okay. I have so many fun facts.
So many fun facts. Today, it is the biggest city in Brazil. It is the biggest city in the Western Hemisphere.
Yes.
It is the biggest city in the Southern Hemisphere.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. It is the biggest city outside of Asia.
Yeah. Isn't that crazy?
It's huge.
Is it 23 million people?
Yeah, something like that. Yeah. 34 million is what I have, including the whole region.
Okay.
It's around Sao Paulo. But it's just, I had no idea. I didn't know that.
Honestly, before you asked me to come on here, I didn't even know that Sao Paulo, Brazil was a place.
That's why we're learning. I love learning. The city is named after Paul the Apostle.
Oh, okay.
Or St. Paul. And the people call themselves Paulistanos.
Oh,
I like that. And the city motto is, I am not led, I lead. Ooh. Isn't that cool? I like that.
Yes.
Yeah. Anyway, those are some fun facts about Sao Paulo.
That is so cool.
We should visit.
You say that every time.
I know I do.
I'm not against it. Okay, so one of the things we've got to talk about with this period of time is the revelation on the priesthood.
Mm-hmm.
Is that what we call it? I don't ever know what to call it. So in 1972, this man named Helvécio and his wife Ruda Martins, they met the missionaries. And they were interested, but they were like, but what does your American church feel about Black people? Because they were Black.
Oh, yeah.
And the missionaries were taught, if somebody asks that, you pray with them first and then explain it as best you can. So the missionary said, can we pray with you first? And they prayed and they had a discussion. The missionary explained it the best he could. And Brother Martins was like, okay, I accept this. This is
really?
Yeah.
Wow. That's impressive.
I love it.
And then as they join the church, they're given these promises that their family would be sealed in a temple and that their son would serve a mission. And they're like, okay, but it's not happening right now.
Yeah.
Right. In 1975, the temple was announced, and he is a great public speaker, so he was put on the church's PR
Yes.
team
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
to talk about the church and the temple and everything. And even though he knows he won't be able to go into the temple at this time.
Yeah.
He's just like, I'll do it. But
yeah, he did a lot to advance the construction of the temple.
Yeah.
He was a big
deal
part of that.
That takes great faith.
Yeah.
Like, I think about, like, if I didn't have the opportunity to go into all these temples, but I still had to do so much work for it, I'm like, what's the point? Like,
Right.
why would I help you? Kind of a thing. But that takes a lot of faith.
Yeah. Faith is the key there. So then in June 1978, the prophet announced that all worthy members could enjoy temple blessings and the priesthood. So that's June. November, this temple is dedicated.
Right. Yes.
So this, I think, is another Hail Mary thing. It really makes me think of, like, if you do my will, you will know my doctrine.
Yeah.
It's like, if you show your faith, then we will reveal more to you.
Yeah.
That's kind of how I felt about it.
Yeah. Do you have more on him? Are you
Well,
saying more?
he became the first man of African descent to be called as a general authority in 1990.
That's cool.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
He's like a hero of Brazilians, I think.
I loved this story because, like Marina was saying, like he must have had a strong testimony of the church. I'm assuming the Book of Mormon, Jesus Christ, like, because knowing that you're joining a church that doesn't allow you to have the priesthood, like that takes vision and faith and like knowing, no, this is, and then of course, not too long after, he was able to receive the priesthood. And it's just like a testament to me that it's a living, growing church that receives continued revelation, that sometimes we're like, I don't know why this is like this, but I have faith and changes can happen. And I just love that he didn't give up on something he knew to be true, even though it wasn't giving him in that moment everything he needed. So
it wasn't promising the things that, I don't know. It's just, it's just hard.
Yeah.
It's hard to do something like that. So,
and like,
it's huge.
I'll just read this little thing. President Kimball was moved to see the Martins at the dedication. And he says, I don't know when I've ever been as touched as I was to see that man and his wife in the congregation when we were dedicating the Sao Paulo temple, and to see them wipe their eyes all through the session. They were so thrilled to be permitted to have these blessings.
Huge.
Isn't that beautiful?
And I mean, they're just an example, obviously, of this whole worldwide change that affected so many people.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. And then we should also talk about the sacrifices that these people went through to pay for this temple. The tradition at this, or the custom, I guess, was for the members in the area to pay for 1/3 of the temple.
Right.
And I don't know how much that was. And also they were asked to pay it in dollars and not in their currency.
Yeah.
And inflation,
it's bad,
was terrible.
Yeah.
To the point where it made more sense for them to give up their gold and jewels.
Yes.
Because, like, you could give $1,000, 1,000 Brazilian units of currency, and it was only like 30 American dollars.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it would be really hard. It was really hard. Most of it was raised in Brazil, even though the temple district encompassed all of South America. The Brazilian saints did most of the fundraising.
Yeah, I did find it interesting. I found that too, and what I love about it is that it mentions that it is in addition to their tithes and their fast offerings, which can be really tough because that's asking a lot from tithing and fast offering. But now they're asking each ward to be able to present a certain amount of money. And what I read was that each ward that was assigned to raise an amount of money either met or surpassed the goal, which is really important to me, at least. And like, it's a great show of faith. And like you mentioned before, they literally had given rings and bracelets and gold and silver and precious stones. And I think that's a big representation of the pioneer that we were talking about. Like, all of these members are pioneers for this new temple and the members that are coming. And like, I read up, we can talk about it later, but like, I read up on how many members like joined the church, and the growth in that area is incredible. Like it flew up within 30 years.
Yeah.
And
that's a big theme in Brazil. It's just like growth.
Yeah.
is always growing so fast.
So did you read about the man who gave his teeth?
Yes, tell us that one.
So they were trying to give like gold. And so this man had a gold dental bridge and he gave it to a pair of missionaries and they're like, we don't want your teeth. You can't deny me the blessings I will receive by giving this to the Lord for his temple. So Elder James E. Faust, he was serving as a supervisor in that area. And he paid a generous sum for the gold and donated it for the building of the temple.
And then he kept that in his office.
Yes.
To remember sacrifice.
Remember the sacrifice that those people gave? He sacrificed his teeth. That sounds really weird to say.
Yeah. I have a little bit. The principal amount was raised in Brazil. Each ward or branch assigned an amount of money to raise has either met or exceeded its goal. People donated some of their most precious possessions, jewelry and gold. One young couple in Sao Paulo had saved several $1,000s for furniture. They donated the money to the temple fund. A widow in northern Argentina donated her home and began living in a rented facility. Some families reduced their budgets and food expenses. More prosperous members sometimes gave up their maids or used public instead of private transportation. Youth saved allowance money. Some walked instead of riding to school. Others went without treats. The money went to the temple fund. A missionary wrote to his family and asked them to sell his only valuable possession, a microscope. Money from the sale was donated to the temple fund. In the United States, returned missionaries who had served in South America also gave generous donations.
That's really neat.
Yeah. That was from a talk that Elder Faust gave about the sacrifice of this temple.
And we should remember that the closest temple for them is the Washington, D.C. temple.
Yeah, 4,000 miles away.
Yeah.
Yeah. So this is a big deal.
Yeah.
Big deal. And at this time also, this is a side note, all of our pioneer temples are also getting renovated in 1975.
Oh, that's true.
To get video capabilities. Okay. That also built the temple, like members would come and build blocks.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. See that? That's what I like. Go ahead. Yeah. Were you saying that?
Yeah, yeah. I had a part there where it said that the members would volunteer to help with the construction both of the temple and the meeting houses around the temple.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
And like the visitor center and everything like that. Like they just came and wanted to help.
So. And they built blocks.
Concrete blocks.
Yeah, that was interesting.
50,000.
50,000.
I wish I knew more about this. I was searching and searching, but
yeah, I know. Right?
This was all used for the exterior.
What they did in New Zealand, right?
Yeah,
they made those blocks too, and I think they must have. It says reinforced concrete. I don't know what this means. Faced with quartz and marble aggregates. So
okay, so what that means, which with my construction ability, so what that means is that they have little stones of marble and quartz, and they just mix it in with the white cement, and so it creates kind of like a raggedy stone kind of feel. Like if you put your hand on the side of the temple, it'd be rough, and you could feel the stones,
and they would probably glitter differently.
Yeah,
that's cool.
Yeah, well, it says a mixture of small marble chips and white cement, so that is exactly what you just described.
Yeah, I think that's cool that it's cool that they volunteered to do that, and that they were allowed to.
And the fact that the temple site is only 1.85 acres.
Right, less than 2 acres.
Yeah,
but it's like long ways. It's not just like front side where you can see the temple, but like the temple is long.
Yeah, it's a long building, all one story.
Yeah.
And there's a stake center and a visitor center.
I think it's all in one building.
Is that? No, I think it's two.
Two? Okay.
Yeah, there's one next to it, and then there's like the temple.
I don't know.
Anyway,
I was looking at a 3D model, and it seemed to be
okay.
There you go.
So, but it's all of that is on the 1.85 acres.
Right. That's not a lot of space.
Yeah. The other temples have 11 acres, 20 acres.
Yeah.
Now we're working with 1.85.
Yeah, less than 2 acres. Yeah. I mean, my yard and lot is 1 acre, and the lot next to me is 1 acre.
Yeah, that's not big.
It's really.
But this temple is not huge either.
No, it isn't. You're right.
But it's, I mean,
and it's in like a metro area. Like there's shopping around there. There's public transportation. There's there's stuff going on.
Which there's like a reason why they made the Sao Paulo East Temple, which is 11 miles from the Sao Paulo Temple.
Okay.
But with traffic and with the metropolitan area, it takes about 2 hours to get to that other.
Yeah, just to get across the city.
Just across the city. They had to have two temples.
Well, it's announced. It hasn't been built yet.
It was announced in 2020 by Russell Nelson and everything like that.
Yeah, that's cool. I think I don't have they did. Okay, the open house. Okay, no, first, sorry. When they first announced the Sao Paulo Temple, it was President Gordon B. Hinckley and L. Tom Perry. They were at an area conference, and before the conference even started at all, President Kimball said, I think I said Hinckley, and I meant Kimball.
Oh.
Never.
Yeah.
It's Kimball. He said, I have an important announcement. And the hush fell over the crowd. A temple will be built in Brazil. And he must have unveiled like some sort of model.
Right.
And there was just a chorus of gasps of this announcement. And L. Tom Perry said it was just so many wonderful, thankful tears and the greatest audience reaction he had ever seen.
I love that. That gave me chills. I love the idea of them going to each country to announce that there will be a temple there.
Yeah.
Not possible now, but I like that idea of that. But I do like the general conference so everybody knows what's going on. But I think that's very special. I think they did that as well in Tokyo. So we'll find out next time.
Yay. Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, I was going to say that there seemed to be, okay, here's my open house. There was some sort of theatrical production that used like the children and youth and adults from various parts in the region, and over 20,000 people enjoyed the talents and testimonies of all these saints, making it one of the most effective missionary tools. So it's some sort of theatrical
like
production.
A cultural celebration.
Kind of.
No, but it's like they repeated it.
Yes.
It was like a play.
Yes, they repeated whatever this thing that they did along with the open house, it seems like.
Okay.
And so people could see both things and
give you more full picture.
They kind of brought that back just this last year for Christmas as well. They had a Bethlehem village in right next to the temple, just in
probably
the little
in
area
by the
yeah. And it was for Christmas and everything. And fun fact, the area presidency there was my mission president.
What?
President and Sister Schmeil. And I was like, oh my gosh, that's crazy. That's my president. And they got together with one of the Brazilian actors and comedians there. His name is Renato Aragão or something. I don't really know. But he's also known as Didi. I don't know if anybody's listening who would recognize that. But, he's there. And they set up little structures and buildings, and there were lights everywhere. And they had musical celebrations. And all these different things that they put on for like a whole month for Christmas.
Oh, wow.
And they just had everybody like going through, and you can do lots of missionary work, and they could see a lot of blessings from that. And it was kind of like a play. They just had lots of concerts and lots of presentations, and missionaries would tell the story of Christ and all of that.
Nice.
That's awesome.
Mm-hmm.
And that was just recently, just this year.
Yeah, just this year.
Very cool. I love it.
Yep.
There's so much to talk about in this temple.
I know.
And I should point out, this is the first temple where we really know nothing. We really came into this one very blind.
Yeah, I don't know much.
But now we know. Yeah, now we know tons. Tons now.
So they had a year after the Brazil temple was dedicated, the church organized South America's first missionary training center. Actually, that's really impressive now that I'm thinking about that.
Yeah, 1979.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that it probably wasn't in the same complex because it was so small. They had to find more land to do that in.
Yeah, okay. Yeah. Thanks for saying that, because I'm trying to figure out, did they put it in that stake center?
No,
I think they just
found
put one there.
Yeah.
Because what's on the land it's one building, but it's the stake center, and I think that there's some accommodations for patrons there, and this visitor center.
The visitor center is apparently a very big deal because that's all I could find pictures of.
Okay, yes, because it is the first visitor center in South America.
There we go. Yeah,
it's got a Christus. That was pretty cool.
Yeah, and that was just built in 2019, and I'm surprised that this is the first visitor center there.
Learning all kinds of things.
It is a big deal.
It's pretty cool.
Yeah.
So at the dedication, which was October 30th through November 2nd, 1978, Spencer W. Kimball said, he's praying, and he says, "To the first presidency of thy church, please reveal in great clearness and power thy mind and will unto them in all things essential for the welfare of thy people. Give them heavenly wisdom, abounding faith, to guide them to give proper and inspired leadership to thy fast-growing earthly kingdom." And this, I think, to me, is a reference to the revelation on the priesthood. And this is really not about the temple at all. It's like, help us to grow this church and do it the right way. Anyway.
Yeah.
I just thought that was a nice little snippet.
Yeah.
Because such big change.
Yeah, I like that. And it reminded me that, like when the prophet has a question, he still asks and gets answers. So like the prophet would have had a question about the priesthood going to all people.
He prayed and prayed and prayed. He worked so hard on this question.
Yeah.
He did.
And that, and it, like Joseph Smith did it when he was reorganizing the church, but like our prophets still do it now.
Yes.
And they're like, hey, what can we do about this?
Well, it's a continuously growing church.
Yeah.
So you're going to have more revelations. The doctrine will never change, but the principles and the way that we get there and different policies might change.
Yep.
Cool. Okay, so this is another temple that offered overnight endowment sessions.
Right, because people are coming from far, far away.
On the weekends.
They have a lot to do. They also had to teach people about temple work, because if they didn't have a temple in the area, they weren't really being taught about temples.
Like family history?
Yeah, so they had to teach about family history and get people to do it so that they would go to the temple. And they had to encourage people to get temple recommends, because most people didn't have one, because they're like, we're never going to go.
Okay.
We're never going to be able to go. So that was a huge shift.
So this one was the first temple that could review and approve genealogical records and name submissions for temple work completely in-house without asking church headquarters to approve them. So I am not sure exactly what that means.
I'm not either. I read that and I was like, okay, I believe you. It's living in a world without the internet, which I
don't understand.
Can't really comprehend anymore.
I know.
That they're just like, yes, these people, all of these names are valid. Yep, you can go take them to the temple, I guess.
They must have had a big team of people who were working on that like all the time then.
Yeah,
I guess. This rose so many questions for me. And then do they write down the names or send the slips of paper to Salt Lake to record? Without the internet, how do you do it?
Yeah, they must have mailed stuff. Anyway. Okay, did you guys read about the people in Manaus went to the temple? It took them 2 weeks. So Manaus is a northwest Brazil, deep Amazon. Did you read about this?
She's got a fact. She's got a fact.
I got it. Okay. So while they were dedicating, I've got a whole quote here. Hold on. Here it is. All right. Some of whom came by boats along the Amazon River this is the rededication. They came from boats on the Amazon River through the jungle to be at the rededication, which I think is so cool. It feels like a fairy tale.
Yeah, it took them a week to come down, and then they did their work for a few days, and then a week to get back up. It was by boat and bus and all of the different things. I think they chartered a bus, but that is some serious sacrifice.
It is so interesting to see how third world, I don't even know what world country this is, but how third world countries get around, because I've had mission friends from going to Ecuador and they talk about their experience of being on these buses and going through the jungle and needing machetes, and I'm like, wow.
Yes.
That's crazy. The sacrifices that people make are incredible.
We live in a desert. We just walk.
We just walk.
There's no vehicles. We just walk.
Yeah. It's crazy that not crazy. They were very faithful.
Yeah.
It is incredible.
That's awesome.
And dedicated to do that. So good job. Good job, more pioneers.
So when was the rededication? What year?
2004.
Okay, so
Yeah,
is
it
that...
closed in 2003.
Right. Is that when they added the Moroni?
Yes, Moroni was added.
They added Moroni.
And here's my fun fact. Don't take it.
Okay.
Furniture that was originally created
That's mine.
in the factory of Walter Spate. He was the first president of the first stake in Brazil. Yes. He was a German. So his factory built all of the furniture, and at the renovation, they were like, "This furniture's great. It's in very good condition." They just shined it up, and then they kept it all.
That's really nice.
So his legacy continues.
I love that.
Also, they added a giant stained glass window by Tom Holdman. We're going to have to start talking about Tom Holdman.
That is the Holdman Studios. That's where they do a lot of the stained glass for a lot of the temples.
Yep. We were just there a little bit ago.
Is it the stained glass? Because there is a picture, an official picture of, it looks like Jesus visiting the Americas.
Ding, ding, ding.
Yay!
It says Holdman shipped 10,000 loose, individually wrapped and numbered pieces all the way to Brazil. It was for a project that was 3 8-foot high panels depicting the Savior in the center with Nephi worshiping at his feet, plus other people watching from the side. And the 3 central pieces are flanked by end panels representing the Tree of Life and Tree of Knowledge, along with symbolic. He's a big deal.
It is a beautiful stained glass depiction, and I love, I mean, of course it would be Christ visiting the Americas, but I just love that so much.
Yeah, it's really pretty. And I'm sure we can get a picture of it up on our Instagram if everyone wants to see it. I mean, we just went to the Holdman Studios, and I can't even comprehend how many different temples he's worked in.
Yeah.
So many. And so he started about 2004. I think Palmyra was his first one.
Okay.
So after that, I'm going to say virtually every temple he's had a little bit of a hand in.
Probably.
Maybe they'll sponsor us.
Oh my gosh. Some stained glass classes. I don't think he needs us.
No, probably not. We'll talk about. They're beautiful pieces, and he's going to be like people are going to be like, "Oh, that's an original Holdman." Like, it's going to be
You're right.
In 100 years, it's going to be a big deal.
Impressive. Is there a stained glass Tree of Life?
Probably.
There's some
big history.
Tree in the temple.
Oh, in the temple?
In the temple. There's some sort of tree. I thought it was stained glass. That was really pretty. It's one of the pictures.
Yeah, it's in the celestial room. I don't think it's a Tree of Life. It looks like a bundle of a plant.
Oh, okay. All right. But it's beautiful.
But I think that's the rabbit hole I was going down when I found this.
Okay.
Because I did want to know what that was and like what kind of tree it was or a plant.
Speaking of which, the celestial room is beautiful.
Yeah.
And it's got a little dome.
Yes.
Like something. It's really gorgeous.
Yes. I should say this temple is a rectangle. It's just a rectangle, one story, and then a spire at the very front.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's it.
That's the first of its kind.
But in the it was Emil Fetzer was the architect here. But during the renovation, they did make the basement more usable. They added rooms down there that they could use. So increase the square footage a little bit. Do you guys have any?
They had a cultural celebration before the rededication. 60,000 members gathered for that in a stadium.
Wow.
That's
and I think it rained on everybody. But there were 7,300 performers dancing and singing in colorful costumes. Anyway, their stadiums are really big.
Football for soccer or football there.
And I guess the membership in 2004 had grown to over
I have some facts about that one.
Tell us more.
How many members?
I will tell you. Okay, so here's the whole quote. At the time that Sao Paulo, Brazil temple was completed, there were only 15 stakes and about 54,000 members in the entire country.
Yes.
And then following the dedication, an incredible 41 additional stakes were organized over the next 12 years, putting the national membership at more than 300,000 members.
In 12 years.
That's in 12 years. Yeah. And then when the Sao Paulo, Brazil temple was rededicated in 2004, the church membership in Brazil had grown to over 867,000 members. That means that in 1978, there were 54,000 members. Then in 1990, there were 300,000 members. And then in 2004, just 14 years later, they were at 867,000, which is almost tripling in size. Like, it's way more than tripling, like, from 54,000.
Sure,
but
yeah.
even from 12 years prior, it was almost tripled in size.
Okay, so let's keep that rolling.
Current?
Keep that rolling today. Okay. Well, what I've got now is over 1.5 million members.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Awesome. Over 2,000 congregations, 38 missions, 9 temples announced, 3 under construction, and 11 are operating. And if we just look at southeast Brazil, in addition to this temple, there's one announced in East Sao Paulo, another announced nearby in Santos, Brazil, which is on the coast, another one northeast in Vitoria. The Campinas temple is operating, the Rio de Janeiro temple is operating, and there are 2 more under construction, Belo Horizonte and Ribeirão Preto. Lots of temples all over. So many.
Won't it be so neat when in Brazil there's as many temples, like here in the Utah Valley, Utah and Salt Lake Valley?
It's going to be
We've got
we've got 31 and they've got 24.
Won't it be so great when they get as many temples as we need?
I hope
here?
that everywhere, like, it gets to be that good.
Yeah.
Well, at this point, I'm like, we better start this podcast right away because it's going to get to the point where they're as common as steak centers.
Yeah, I'm just thinking about, like, in Canada, in Alberta, there's only 3 temples. And, like, I used to live in British Columbia, in Cranbrook, shout out. And they would have to drive, like, 4 hours. And that's just in Cranbrook. Like, that's a first world country we're talking about. Yeah. And they still have to travel at least 4 hours to get to a temple.
Yeah.
And if, like, we can get to where temples are all over the place, they don't have to do that. Like, they could walk across the street and there's a temple there.
So I think this all attests to, like, let's see, the visitor center director, Antonio Casado, he said that the center reflects the love the Brazilian people have for one another and for the Savior. And so I think they just love the Savior so much in general.
Yeah.
That is why you're getting so many people recognizing the truthfulness in the gospel and how much we love the Savior, and they're like, yes, this is it, right? And because they're ready to hear it.
It's a little easier to convert people who already know who Jesus is.
And they're ready to hear, and they recognize it when they hear it.
Yeah. Awesome.
Yeah.
Temple currently has 47 stakes in its temple district, but I'm sure that will go down once those other 2 nearby temples are completed. Oh, that'll be great. What else have we got?
That was all the facts I had.
Okay. It's at the visitor center. They, of course, have, like, sister missionaries there, and they have 42 sister missionaries.
How big is this building?
We should do another podcast. And
visitor centers.
Nice.
and they will teach lessons online, and they will teach 2 lessons and then send them to the local missionaries. But, like, they are teaching lessons all the time.
Yeah.
And, like, that they're just got the work going.
Yeah.
They've just got the work going.
Yeah. Shout out to the missionaries that have been to Brazil. If you're a Brazilian, like, if you're an RM from Brazil, does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yes.
That went to Brazil. Good job. That's what I'm trying to say.
That's awesome. Anyway, I think that's
You ready for some facts?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay, the announcement came March 1st, 1975. That was at that area conference. The groundbreaking and site dedication was March 20th, 1976 by James E. Faust, who was a Brazilian missionary. The dedication was October 30th through November 2nd, 1978 by Spencer W. Kimball, and then rededicated February 22nd, 2004 by Gordon B. Hinckley. The site's on 1.85 acres, which is tiny, tiny. 2 instruction rooms, 4 ceiling rooms, and 1 baptistry. Originally 51,000 square feet, and I've read from between 55,000 to 59,000.
Yeah.
I couldn't get a straight answer, so I don't know. Somewhere in there. And it's 101 feet with the steeple, and the Moroni was added in 2003.
And the steeple is gold, and the Moroni is gold.
Cool.
It looks good.
It's all gold.
Yeah.
Yeah, super cool. It's pretty. All right, Janelle, what are your some final thoughts?
I think that we touched on all the great stuff, and I'll just say one quick thing. I didn't write down who said it, but they're like, the people here love God and they love Christ. And it's so, you can tell by the growth that's happening. And yeah, I love God and I love Christ too. So it's great.
That was a good testimony. Thank you. Thank you for being with us as we discuss the Sao Paulo, Brazil temple. If you have more stories about this or another temple, please share it with us on our Instagram and Facebook pages at Every Temple Podcast. And if you have learned something, please share this podcast with a friend. We are available on every podcast library that we know of. We will see you in the next episode where we talk about the Tokyo, Japan temple. If you want to learn more about why we build temples and the role they play in our religion, please visit churchofjesuschrist.org/temples. We are not sponsored by or affiliated with the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints.